Hey guys, so yes, I'm going to be reviewing Scooby-Doo, but not the entire franchise. I think this is the first live-action movie. To tell you the truth, this is the first one that I know about. I'm sure there was some 70s version. This one came out in the early 2000s. It's a very interesting movie because it does something a lot of modern Scooby-Doo shows either try to do or have successfully done or tried to do, which is they try to make a prequel or basically continue on the storyline like after they broke up. Mystery Inc. broke up. This one goes for the latter. It's an interesting it's interesting how they do it. It's actually relatively funny. Though I think that it falls into a lot of the pit holes that the series had, such as the characters don't really go through too much development. While they definitely get, well, how do I put it? Well, the characters definitely move along. You know, they seem to be growing. The actual characters themselves don't go through that much development. In many ways, it's almost symbolic, the development that they do have. But you can be the judge yourself. I don't want to give too much of the series away. The acting in this is actually decent, which is surprising for a live-action version of a cartoon show just in general. I mean, you can't take it too seriously. It's a cartoon show and they're making a live-action version of it. But the cast did a decent job. The actors in this were probably some of the best for a Scooby-Doo movie. And I think that it definitely shows. I think the writing, while it works for what it's trying to do, it could have been a lot better. But then again, once again, it's kind of a live action version of a kid's movie. You know what I mean? You're not expecting, somebody to write some beautiful poetry in the midst of it. You're just expecting to be around for a good time. And for that, it does a good job. The other aspect of it is that I think it's interesting who they eventually cast as the ultimate villain. And like I said, I'm not going to give too much away of the storyline yet. I think that it was very well placed. The ending I was satisfied with. I will say that they dragged it out a little too long. Like, they could have wrapped it up a little sooner. But all things considered, if you are, all retro and you want to get into thousandsy movies, I don't know how retro that is. I mean, it feels like we just got out of the thousands. Anyway, or the aughts. I guess aughts makes more sense. If you're into the aughts, this is a movie that you might want to see. Of course. So yeah, that's basically it. I guess I'll do a couple spoiler moments that I want to cover real quick. So if I was going to recommend this movie real quick, I would probably give this a 3 out of 5 for an attempt at a animation movie or an animated show turning into a live action movie. It's hard to do. So, and that's why they get they actually get a half decent score. I definitely would say if you're a fan of the series and you want to see something with live action, this is something to check out. If you're not a fan of the overall series, this might not be something for you. Anyway, so spoiler alert, I've got basically 2 things to note. First off, the end villain, I will say I hated Scrappy-Doo. He was an annoying character, and what they eventually end up doing to him I think is hilarious, and I love it. In fact, that's one of the reasons why this movie does not get a really bad review, because everybody fucking hated Scrappy-Doo. I mean, everybody. I can't think of one person that likes Scrappy-Doo except my stupid brother. And that's probably the reason why I hate him most. Now, I think that the other thing that was interesting was how they did the whole, graphics. Back then, graphics aren't as good as they are now. They're not as instant. We didn't have Avatar. I feel like an old man. We had to march 7 miles in the snow every day. But, graphics weren't up to snuff as they are today. So, what they did with the animation, I'd say, was really good. The music, I thought, fit this overall storyline. And I thought the actual romance, I guess, if you want to put it there, was decent. I have some complaints about that. Not because I'm against it overall in the series. I just think that if they were going to do it, I think I would have done it a little bit differently. But that's personal, disagreements. These are the people with the money trying to make this movie, so I'll give it to them. Anyway, I definitely, once again, would suggest this for any person who's a fan of the series. If you're not, go watch like the original Scooby-Doo. Watch a couple episodes with Scrappy in it. You'll be caught up enough, I think, that it would be worth watching. Of course, you don't have to do that. This isn't like a movie completely based on that stuff. You just need to know the background, like the rough story of Scooby-Doo. And if you've seen one episode, you've seen pretty much them all. So yeah, definitely check it out if you've got time. That's it. Subscribe, comment, rate. Goodbye.